So I have a question for one of my King Transformation clients today. He wants to know, Elliot, why is it that even though I'm on the program, I'm becoming a stronger version of myself through fitness, I'm eating right, I'm reading, I'm doing all the right things, my wife and my children just can't get on board? What can I do to get them on the program the way I'm on it? And so the very first thing I want you to recognize is that being a king in his fullness, you must recognize that there's two negative polarities. There's the king that's a tyrant, right? This is the king that tries to make everybody do what he wants them to do. And then the other end, you have the coward, and that's the king who sort of just subjugates himself to the women and children and sits tight and doesn't say anything, and just feels bad and depressed about it. But the king in his fullness leads by his example, by who he is. Remember, the king doesn't do anything. It's about being. And so one of the things I would like to share with you is an example from my own life. I started dating my wife when I was a teenager, about the same time I started lifting. And for almost 20 years, I lifted. I was into lifting. I learned about lifting. I taught people how to lift. My wife didn't want to lift a damn thing. No interest whatsoever. But by and by, she got to a point where she wanted something new. She wanted to begin training. And by mere virtue of me being who I am, she happened to be in the right place at the right time and began to ask me, Elliot, what do I need to do to start lifting? I never forced her to lift. I never tried to push it on her. I never judged her for not lifting. But by being in my presence, by being around me long enough, by seeing the result of Elliot doing and being who he is, she knew that if she wanted something different, all I got to do is ask this man. Another example about how it worked backwards on me. When I was young, I never saw my parents reading any books. They always spoke about reading books and told me to read books, but I never read books because I never saw them reading books. So it never really sunk in until I was a little bit older and I started going to a friend's house and I saw his parents reading books. I'd go into his house and the TV was off. It was weird to me. I thought these people were strange. But they would sit there and they were reading books. And it was by the power and the presence of his father being a book reader that put a seed in my mind that said, there must be some power to sitting there and reading books. And to this day, I love reading books. I have tons of books. My children, on the other hand, don't read books. Well, they read books for school, but they don't love to read books. Part of the reason why they probably don't like reading books is because school makes them read books. But they see me reading books every day. They walk down into the kitchen, and the first thing they usually see is their dad with a book open on the couch, reading. So I make no effort to try to force them to read. I don't make any effort to try to force them to lift. I don't really make any effort to force my children to do any of the things that just come normal and natural to me, because I know that the power of that thing is being displayed in front of them on a daily basis. And when the time comes that they want something new or they feel something missing, they'll know exactly where to go, who to ask, and how to be, because they watched me. So that's it, my man. I hope that helps. There's no need to force. Definitely don't subjugate yourself. You don't want to be a tyrant. You don't want to be a coward. You just be. And in the power of you being you, the people in your world will adopt to your way. Done.